This conference will now be recorded.
All right, welcome everybody. It is now 6 p.m. on Tuesday, April 1st, 2025. I'll call this regular meeting of council to order here in Winnipeg. I respectfully acknowledge that we are meeting on Treaty 1 territory, the traditional homeland of the Anishinaabe, Cree, Anishinaabe Nation, Dakota, Assiniboine, and Dene people, and the homeland of the Red River Métis. We respect the treaties that were made on these lands, on these territories, and we acknowledge the harms and mistakes of the past. Dedicate ourselves to moving forward in partnership with Indigenous and Métis communities in the spirit of reconciliation and collaboration. I will start with introductions around the table. On my left.
Good evening. My name is Erwin Kumker.
Steve Axworthy.
Lon Turner.
Penny McMorris, Mayor, and on screen, councillors. Thank you, and
Councillor Graham Randall.
Thank you, gentlemen. All right, we have the agenda. Be it resolved, the agenda be adopted as presented. May I have a mover? Steve, thanks. Ian, second. Thank you. Any additions, gentlemen?
Nope.
All right, hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Thank you. We'll move on to the minutes of the March 18th meeting. Be it resolved, the minutes of the March 18th, 2025 regular council meeting be adopted as presented. May I have a mover? Thank you, Steve. Second, Graham. Any comments, gentlemen? I was not here. I'd like to thank Councillor Kumka, Deputy Mayor Kumka, for running that meeting so well.
You did a great
job.
Any
comment? Yes.
Well, I love the delegation to meander on a bit, but that's okay.
Well, yeah. I think we just have to be clear when we have delegations that there is a 10-minute timeline generally.
We've done that before, though, Penny. We've done that before. Delegations have gone on.
I know
because we find them interesting, I think.
Yeah.
At any rate, the minutes look fine to me.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you.
Any other discussion?
Nope.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Carried. Thank you, gentlemen. All right, we'll move on to the accounts and finances. Be it resolved, the following list of accounts be approved for payment. Check 13121 to 13157 in the amount of $252,065.73. Ian, would you like to move that?
I'll move that, please.
Thank you, sir. Erwin, second. Any comments on the finances, Ian?
Just a couple. The big one was Drew Allwright, $140,000. Western Financial, $5260. Lon, maybe you could tell me what Contech Projects was at $34,275.
Yeah, that's for the water treatment plant in Victoria Beach, new pumps.
Oh, the water treatment plant? Oh, great. I kind of thought that, but I couldn't tell what it was. The other funny one was the Minister of Finance. We paid $250 for a golf course. I was wondering what that one was.
Yeah, every year we have to spend $250 for a pesticide registration, so we can.
Oh, it's a red. Okay, got it. Thanks.
Yeah, spraying permit. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's good. Then the police truck, Reliant Action. Is that equipment or that's 5,500?
Sounds like repairs.
Reliant Action, is that
it's safety supply house. It was they also do radios and all kinds of things. Lon,
maybe it was those laptops then, Lon?
I'd have to pull the invoice up on that one. All I have is on the Chevy Silverado 2021.
Yeah.
I think it might have something to do with the new mounts for the computers.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then there was Tower Engineering at $12,300.
And if that's for the not the Moonlight, for the fire hall, Ian, that Towers Engineering.
Yeah, they had to do some extra work because the foundation for the tower was going to be different from the foundation for the main building. And the problem was if you dig a foundation for that tower, just because of the height and the wind and everything else, you're going to disturb the sand, and that might shift the big building. So they're trying to figure out a way to sort of combine the foundations of the two so that they're the same. So, because once you start digging in sand, things move. So anyways, I think that's what it was for.
All right.
Screw piles would seem to be the best, because you go all the way down to the, what's hard underneath them there, it doesn't move.
Have you considered screw piles for that, Ian?
Yeah, no, we talked about a few different options. I think the trick is going to be sort of a gray beam for the tower and the building. And that way they can go ahead and erect the building. And then we want to get that done before, say, October. So that's kind of the lockup. So the building is sealed. And then they can heat the building and they can go in there and put the floor in, the radiant heat, and then finish the inside through the winter and have this thing done by, say, June next year. So that's kind of the plan we're working with now.
All right.
And
All right.
I should say the tender went out last week. Lon's keeping a pretty good list on all of the moving parts as far as people that are interested, as far as the locals that I sent him a list of locals that Brad sent me, and there's a few more that we've added. So now we're in wait mode. I think May 6th is when we have a deadline for the tenders. Sorry, I probably shouldn't be getting into all of this during accounts payable.
That's okay. I started that off by asking a question. All right, let's get back to the finances then.
Okay.
Any further discussion, gentlemen? All right, all those in favor?
All right.
Carried. Thanks. Thank you, Ian.
Okay.
Oh, business arising from previous meetings. Lord Selkirk School Division, RMVB tax increase over 26%. Phew. We're just wanting to. Go ahead.
I did a little research on that. And then Lon did some too. He went back and forth with somebody over there. Their budget is up 8% year over year, and ours is up 26%, pretty much based on the capital appreciation of the cottages. That's what they're. I guess there's laws in place that they, when the values of the cottages go up and it's an assessment year, they can increase our taxes. And I think they wanted to make it even higher. I forget what the number was, 30% or something, but they thought that would be ridiculous, so they lowered it. But to me, they just didn't lower it enough. They could have done this over a couple of years instead of 1 year because of the provincial tax too, because you have to add that on. I think Lon went through some of the numbers. People are going to have 30, 40, 50% increases in their taxes this year, which is not going to be fun. But I did talk to a few people about what you can do about it. And there's two approaches. One is a grassroots protest. So we could go to some of the associations in Victoria Beach and say, what do you think? I mean, is it worth protesting, getting signatures and that sort of thing, and bring it to council? And then we can go to the board at Selkirk, which, by the way, I don't even think we're allowed to be on the board, which is kind of strange when we give them $2.5 million. But anyways, that's one option. The other option is to challenge it legally. I'm not sure how far you're going to get with that, but you're going to spend some money. So, so I don't know. I just, you either let it go or you just make enough of a stink so that they know that we're not happy about this. This just doesn't make any sense to pay $2.5 million plus another 26% for 9 kids to go to school. It just, I don't know, it just doesn't make any sense to me.
It's not just about the amount of children going to school, right? It's the system. It's
the laws that are in place that but
kids deserve a quality education. Kids deserve a good education, and our portion of the Lord Selkirk School Division levy is what, 7.5%.
Right.
And they're anticipating 4,000 students this year. So they're increasing staffing, they're increasing resources, they're increasing whatever else it takes, right, to ensure the kids have the education that they should have, we hope.
But it's interesting when you look at their fact sheet they have on their website, the teacher ratio is 14-1, which I found that amazing. Like I've never heard of that. All the schools I've ever been to, 20-1. 22-1. I don't know, Steve, do you have a comment on that? Is that normal to have 14-1 ratio for schools?
No, that'd be phenomenal in like anywhere else. That's private school level.
No, it's not even private school level.
No, I went to private schools.
My kids went to private school too. There's not 14 kids in class.
But the point I'm trying to get at, Penny, is that you're saying that and that's what they say in their fact sheet, is they want to add 35 support staff and teachers. But if you've got a ratio of 14-1, why don't you increase the ratio to 25-1 and use some of those that teacher time to replace, all the other things they want to do, rather than just sort of hire more people. But I just thought that 14-1 ratio was really quite low, I thought.
But I think we need to direct our residents to contact Lord Selkirk School Division. We don't have the answers. We can't justify their numbers.
They can't justify their numbers.
But they can get the queries, and they can go to www.llsd.ca. They can click on their financial tab. They can go to the finance Lord Selkirk School Division tab. They can contact Lord Selkirk School Division. I know Lon has sent an email, or has had a few emails with the people at Lord Selkirk. We've contacted the Minister of Education. It's, go ahead, Steve.
So if you take a look at Stats Canada, again, this is an accounting for how what they have here. We've never done a census for ourselves, but what they have here is roughly, because they don't break it down to direct school ages, but it's roughly about 55 students in Victoria Beach. So that works out to, per student, $54,172, which is far and above what it is for the average student to go to. It's almost more than what it is for an entire 12 years of school for most students in Manitoba. I don't think that going to Lord Selkirk School Division is going to make a damn bit of difference. They've shown a total indifference to Victoria Beach. This is not a new issue.
No.
This is something that's been going on for a very long time. I have spoken to Conservative members of Parliament, members of the legislature, and I've spoken to NDP members of the legislature, and all of them show just a general indifference. The whole notion of transferring property taxes to income taxes where they freaking belong is just not a priority, despite the fact that they all say that it is. From my understanding from talking to the Free Press last week, and they're going to be coming out with an article later this week, is that we're not alone this year, that this is happening in several different places in the province. And so I think that it needs to be people emailing, writing, and phoning their elected representatives to basically explain the fact that this is outrageous, and basically what this is going to do, and with an NDP socialist government, which I'm perfectly fine with, but this would be the government to do it for. There's a misunderstanding as to what Victoria Beach is. A lot of people look at Victoria Beach and think it's all rich people, and that is just simply not the case. My cabin with my family was purchased for a few $1,000s. Other cabins originally were purchased for a few hundred, and a lot of these have been passed down to generation after generation after generation. And sadly, a lot of families are having to make a heartbreaking decision to let them go. And a big part of that is the ever increasing amount of taxes. For new residents, a lot of them that are moving in have a lot of money. But the ones who have been here for generations, a lot of those children don't. And unfortunately, sometimes parents pass earlier than when their children can actually afford to take on the cabin, and they're having to make these decisions. So it's not a rich community. Generally, are we well off? Yes. But there are a lot of people in our community which are not. What this is going to do, if this continues, is to favor the rich and allow wealthy people to come over and take away from people who are lower middle class their one place that they can go to escape the city and escape life. So this is the type of impact it is going to have on people. So, I don't care that I'm a teacher right now. Lord Selkirk School Division, by this outrageous increase, shows that they simply do not care about the residents of Victoria Beach. As Ian had pointed out, and this has been known for a very long time, we are not allowed to have a seat on their on their board. And yet we've been trying to do that for decades. So they just simply don't care. This needs to go to the province, and they need to be told to stop this abuse of our residents.
I kind of agree with Steve 100%. There's only 3 provinces in Canada that have this approach to school tax. Every other province has it on income tax, which is more reasonable and more fair. But just having the school tax go up based on this idea that the value of your cottage has gone up, well, of course they went up when COVID we got through COVID. There was a real burst. There was a sort of a pent-up demand, and everybody was out there buying RVs and cottages. But that's slowed down. I mean, the cottages aren't selling off the shelf like they were 2 years ago. So I'm not even sure these assessment values are realistic. But I think Steve is absolutely right. I mean, we could just let this thing go and tell people to phone somebody at the school board, and 6 people will, and everybody will just pay the tax. Or, people can just start to protest and get some signatures and get out there and just make a little bit of noise to let people know that this doesn't seem fair at all. And it's not. Certainly not this year. I mean, if my taxes are going up 50%, so that's not fair at all. I mean, that's just in 1 year. It's amazing what they've done over the last 5 years. There has to be. Go ahead.
I think we need to deliver our lecture is that there is a big wave coming. You're going to get, when you get your tax bill, you'll be surprised, disappointed, shocked. And I think it's important for each of our electorate to understand that we are doing everything we can to control our costs. Our budget is going to increase perhaps by 3.5% or 4%. So the tax increases are not of our making. We have no control over it. We have no choice. Your taxes are going to go up probably on order of 35, 40, or 50%, and that's a lot of money. But don't call us. Call your MLA.
Okay. Lon, did you want to add anything?
Not really. I'm glad you guys took over. I thought I was talking about it.
Yeah, okay.
We need to let you people know that this wave is coming, and start to prepare for it.
Yeah.
I guess the only thing I would add was that the people that are permanent residents and the cottage is your primary residence, your taxes probably will go down because they have the homeowners affordability tax credit. It's gone up a little bit for the residents, is probably up $300,000 or less. It's just for the secondary residences, you don't get the tax credit that you had last year, and that's really going to be most of the increase.
Right.
I mean, it's only 680.
Yeah, that's not very many people.
Yeah, so like for the vast majority, it's going to hit them like a freight train.
Yeah.
And I do know one family that's right around me who cannot afford this.
Really, properties come for sale, unfortunately. That's the sad reality of what we were saying.
Yeah.
That's wrong.
Yeah.
A $350,000 property, if your cottage is your principal residence, you live there, your taxes would probably go up by $500 or $600.
School taxes.
No,
Or overall.
all in.
Right.
Well, I've said my piece.
Yeah.
Actually, maybe a little less than that when I look at the numbers.
Okay. All right.
And it's not even Christmas time.
I don't see this one as a gift. All right. Well, thank you for that discussion. Thank you, Steve. You made lots of really good points. All right, we'll move on to new business. 6A, be it resolved to approve the 2025 drug and alcohol policy. May I have a mover? Erwin, thank
I'll
you.
move that.
Second, Steve. This is housekeeping, something we need to renew, review every couple of years. I don't believe there's any changes to what Lon sent out.
Nope.
No? Okay.
No.
Did you have a chance to review the document, gentlemen?
Yes.
Yep.
It's important we just don't tolerate drugs and alcohol in the workplace.
Right.
Period.
Right. All right, a little more than that, but okay. Yeah, that's the gist of it. Any other comments?
Nope.
Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Thanks very much. Moving on to the meals and mileage policy, again, another review and update. Be it resolved to approve the 2025 meals and mileage policy. May I have a mover? Steve, thanks. Graham, do you want to get your name on the in the minutes? Do you want to second that one?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll second this one.
There you go. Seconded. Thanks, Graham. Again, there's been some increases on this one. Or no, pardon me. No, we're holding steady. Holding steady. So
Yep.
meals, there's a maximum
increase.
daily limit of $75. No increase.
Mileage is the same.
And mileage is the same at
Yep.
60 cents a kilometer. Yeah. Now, I know, Steve, you'd asked about reducing it for electric vehicles. I think you still have maintenance on your vehicle and wear
No,
and tear.
I do. The thing is that it doesn't make sense for myself to get 60 cents a kilometer when I don't have to pay for gas. So to cover the wear and tear, like if we reduce this for somebody who has an EV just by a third, then that would leave the final 2/3 for wear and tear. To me, that makes a lot of sense. But for you guys who have gas vehicles, it's also to help cover the gasoline expense, like gasoline as well as wear and tear. And you guys have to pay a lot more than that because you have gas keeps going up, which makes me smile.
Went down today. It's down to like $1.13.
I'll put it towards your battery.
And electric.
Yeah, or the tire. That tire engine having to. Sorry, Graham, you're cutting up there.
Oh, and electric
Yeah.
vehicles are very expensive to repair if and when you need them. I appreciate your gesture, Steve, but I don't see any reason to come up with a reduced amount for someone who chooses to drive an electric vehicle.
Yeah, I don't either. I think you're absolutely right. I think
I-
every car
Like,
depreciates at least 20-25% once it comes off the lot. So it continues to depreciate every year. So hopefully that 60 cents helps compensate for that.
Yep. Let's go with
Right
that.
now, it affects me, but like I don't have the same type of expenses that you guys do, and even for my repairs, they're hardly anything. So no, just like in general, I don't have oil, I don't have brake changes, I don't have transmission fluid. None of that do I have to pay for. That's stuff that you guys have to pay for all the time. So like the point is that for me to service my vehicle is very, very low. So I don't see it being necessary, or I won't say reasonable, but I just don't see it as necessary for me to get that kind of money if I'm charging mileage. So I mean, as I said, right now it affects me, and this is more money in my pocket. Should I ever?
Should you submit it?
Yeah, but I do everything online. But for the one or two times that I'm going to be driving, like sure, I'll take it. I just don't see that it's necessary to get that kind of bonus.
It could be a disincentive in a small way for someone like myself who might want to consider an electric.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm fine with this because it benefits me, but I just don't, again, I'm very careful with my expenses because it's taxpayers' money. So.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, I would prefer to just leave it at one figure, 60 cents.
I
To be
agree.
consistent, I
To
think
be
that makes
consistent.
sense. Personally.
Graham?
No, that's
What do you think?
that's about it.
One,
Let's call the vote.
Let's call the
All
vote.
right. So, all those in favor,
are we going
leaving
to
it at 60
Aye.
cents?
60 cents on everything?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then,
No,
that's the
it's
same.
on there. It's on, we're just removing the 40
Just leave it the way it
cents.
was.
okay, so you're deleting that off.
Yeah. Right. All right, about that long? Okay.
I do. Did you vote against it?
Aye.
Yeah, I'm gonna vote against it.
Okay, so all those in favor?
Or-
Aye.
Opposed? Steve, all right. Thank you. Motion passes. Where am I? All right,
Councilor Denton,
thank you. Moving on to
6C.
6C, council indemnity. Be it resolved, the council indemnity bylaw. Thank you. 1654 be given first reading. May I have a mover? Thank you,
I'll
Steve.
move that.
Second? Erwin, thank you. Okay, this has been changed. This has been increased. I can read it out if the councilors haven't had a look. Compensation that the mayor be paid a monthly indemnity of $1,500, which includes all regular council meetings, prep time for meetings, to read meeting information, materials, prepare reports as required, as well as time to and from the meetings, regular interaction with residents, informal municipal activities, and not pre-approved by council for extra compensation. That each councillor be paid a monthly indemnity of $1,250, which includes the same as for me, the same outline, and that all council members be paid an indemnity of $350 for full day meetings, $200 for a half day, or $35 per hour for events that are 2 hours or less when attending municipal business with specifications below.
a meeting with a local representative, ratepayer does not constitute a meeting. It has to be
No.
a formal, organized meeting.
Yes. Yeah.
Hmm.
If that's the
Right.
case, every trip to the bakery would be.
It becomes one, I tell you.
Yeah. No, that's not what it's for. And we are also paid a monthly technology allowance of $150 for phone and computer and paper, etc. So any further discussion on that, gentlemen?
Nope.
It's,
Steve, you're all right with that?
it's my understanding still that this still puts us in the lowest third of remuneration compared to other municipalities.
Well, interesting you should say that, Graham, because I did go and have a look. The Arm of Alexander, this is from 2023. The mayor received over 2,000, deputy mayor 1,494, councillor 1,358 a month. Town of Winnipeg Beach, which is a resort community across the month. Town of Winnipeg Beach, which is a resort municipality across the lake from us, the mayor gets $1,479 a month. The deputy mayor gets $1,218. Councillor gets $1,153. Village of Donator from 2021, the mayor gets $1,050. Councillors get $750. Now that's from 2021. That's 4 years
I'm sure
ago.
that's changed.
I'm
There
sure it's
wasn't anything
changed.
on their website. Lactabon, yeah, the Arm of Lactaboni from 2021, the mayor was 1,317, deputy was 1,097, and councillors were 966. So we're in the ballpark. Ish.
I agree.
You know, if you want people to run for
Yeah.
these, if you want people to run for election, you need to give them some incentive to do their job, want to do the job,
Oh, positivity is everything.
isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yes. So and no one will give council members a raise unless council members give them a raise. We're the only ones who can do it. So it's you know, we have to look after ourselves as well.
Well, to bring things into perspective, last year, my T4 was for $17,000. Mentally, it's a full-time job.
Yeah.
Hours-wise, it's part-time. But, you know, if you work it out on an hourly rate,
Oh, don't do that.
it's not good.
No.
So,
Yeah, don't do that, Erwin.
well, we definitely didn't get into this job for the money. That's
No, you don't do it.
No.
But anyway, so, all right. So any further discussion on this bylaw? First reading
Nope.
of this bylaw.
Nope.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Yeah.
Carried. Thank you. All right, we are now at correspondence, information, announcements. Anybody?
I have none.
Steve? Ian?
I've just been
Graham?
getting emails from people that want to be on the list
Oh.
to do some of the work on the fire hall. So I just keep passing them over to the gang.
Sort of an announcement on the fire hall. It's no big deal, but I'll be meeting with one of the bidders tomorrow for a site meeting, and I'll mention right now to uh, uh, Erwin and Ian any other site meetings that might pop up during the week. Seeing as how I live out here, I'd be quite willing to attend those and deal with that. We'll see how tomorrow's goes. They also want to take a look at our existing fire hall, and I've been able to arrange that with Brad. So I'll let you all know how that turns out tomorrow. I'm not going to disclose the name of the bidder. I believe that's probably confidential, but they're a real outfit.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes.
Graham, could I ask a question, if you don't mind? Maybe for Erwin and I, since we won't be there, could you just give us a couple of bullets on the type of questions they ask? I'm kind of curious, just what they're interested in. I mean, they're going to look at the space, but I'm just kind of curious at what interests them about the site. So if you
I
just
will
pass that
certainly
on,
report back to this committee any specific questions
that'd be great.
that they might have.
Thank you.
Certainly.
I just have a question. Is that normally the way it's done? Wouldn't you have a site meeting for all interested parties once the bids are in, or just before the bids are in? Like, is it normal practice to have a meeting with this guy and a meeting with that person and prior?
They'll normally have.
Yeah,
a site
they
meeting
likely
with
all have
interested
different axes to
contractors.
grind.
I think they all. I think they
But
need
now
to see the site they need to see the site to get an idea of how they're going to bid. Like they want to see how much work needs to be done on the site itself. They're just taking. I'm sure that's going to be part of the questions. You need to prepare the actual land of it. But they can't put a bid in unless they actually see it. But
Would it not be a good idea to organize a site meeting and invite all interested contractors?
at the same time?
Otherwise, Graham's gonna be back and forth, and burning up an unnecessary amount of time. Discuss
Well,
that.
if I could comment on that,
Graham?
if I could comment on that, Erwin, I think each one of these bidders is going to have his own sets of questions, and there's going to be so many of them. Trying to get them all together at the same time is going to be like trying to staple Jello to the wall. Let's see how the individual site meeting requests go, and we can revisit the idea of having a general one a little later on.
I've got a new member of the council
I
here.
just want to make sure everybody
Oh
gets the
yeah,
same information.
I'll vote for her.
I mean, I don't understand why we wouldn't just set a date for like
Yes,
a week and a
for a
half
site
from now, give everybody enough time to be able to put it in their schedule and then everybody show up on
I would feel better
one
about
and
that.
most 2 days.
That's your problem.
Yeah.
I'm sort of thinking that we could do
Because then
both.
what ends up happening is that this,
I'm sort of thinking we could do both. I mean,
It's a lot of time.
we just want to encourage people to take an interest and provide a bid. If we find that, there's 10 and 15 people doing this, then you're absolutely right. Let's set a date and we'll just say and let them know what the date is. But right now it's one person that's asked.
that's right.
And Graham's willing to do it.
No.
If I'm up there and they ask, I don't mind doing it. I don't think it's going to take half an hour. But at this stage, I would like to get as many bids as possible. And I think seeing it is probably, a big question in their minds since they're not from Victoria Beach. They don't know that it's just a blank piece of land. They don't know if they have to cut trees down, move things so. At this stage, it's not really an issue, but you're absolutely right. If it becomes an issue, let's set a date and do a group meeting.
Yep, I agree. And it's certainly in our interest to get as many bids as possible. We don't want anybody chickening out because they didn't feel that we were hosting them properly. So let's see how it goes, and if they all line up, then we can do a general meeting, but not at the moment.
Yeah, we could talk about that in the subcommittee. We could set up a date for
Okay,
third week in April, and if it's a problem, we'll give them that date. Otherwise, we'll just deal with it one-on-one.
You got
Until it is a problem.
Agreed.
I have an announcement from the police board. Regretfully, I must advise that our chief constable, Kevin Pauls, has submitted his resignation and will be leaving us as of the middle of May. I'm pleased to report that we have recruited a very capable candidate by the name of Mike McKinnon, and he will be starting with us. He's an officer from the Winnipeg Police Service. He's had management experience there, and he will be starting on the 5th of May.
so he'll be working with Chief Paul for a couple of
There'll be
weeks.
2 weeks of overlap, and we're all set to go. I was part of the
Erwin,
interview team
if I
that
could,
met with the,
if I could add to your
Go ahead.
announcement, it's come to my attention in the last couple of days that Sergeant Ann Boyko is also leaving our employ. She's taken a position with
That
Winnipeg
is correct.
Transit Police, so that's one more hole we've got to plug. But that'll be up to the new police chief to deal with restaffing.
Ann is still on medical leave. Her resignation would be effective at the end of May.
Okay.
25th or something.
Yeah, towards the end of May.
Erwin, I'll add a comment.
You know, we've had some changes.
I had my library meeting
Go ahead, Ian.
on Monday. I had my library meeting on Monday, and I can't think of Gord's last name, but he's a counselor with Armand Alexandra.
Okay.
What's his last name?
K.
Okay. He was telling me that he's still very interested in having the VB Police Department work on Ward 1 and 2. Hello. So I'm just passing that on. He's still still fighting with his own council to get that going. He's very committed to that. They're getting a little bit of resistance, I think, from some of the residents, because I guess they don't want to have that sort of coverage. But anyways, I'm just passing it on for what it's worth.
All right, thank you.
Let's go hide. Let's go hide. Come on. We'll hide. Let's hide.
I had a similar conversation with another person, and I've asked that this particular topic be put on the agenda for our next joint meeting with Alexander.
Yeah, they'd like to have one, I think, with us.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Anything else, gentlemen?
Nope.
All right. Be it resolved, the April 1st, 2025 regular council meeting now be adjourned. Next meeting will be on Tuesday, April 22nd, 2025 at 6 p.m. in Victoria Beach at the East Beaches Social Scene, number 3 Atia Road. Please note the date changed from April 15th due to the Association of Manitoba Municipalities Conference that's taking place that week. May I have a mover? Steve, thank you. Second? Erwin? All those in favor?
All right.
Carried. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, everyone. Thank you to those in attendance.